What is up, everybody? It's Larry back with you, and today I'm going to be talking to you guys about the LG G4. LG sent me this phone, actually sent me a few phones. I've given a few away, but they sent me this one in advance from the beginning to take a look at, and I've had it for a little bit over a month now, and I wanted to give you guys my impression. So this is the LG G4 after a month. All right, so first of all, let's start off with hardware. And the one thing that you're gonna notice about this phone right from the start is that it has the power and volume rocker buttons on the back side. Now, when I had the LG G3, this was probably my favorite feature of the phone, and that carries over to the G4 as well. I just love it. I love the way it feels. I love the ergonomics of it. My finger falls right in that spot, so it works out really well. And after a couple days of using this phone, when I went back to my iPhone 6 Plus or my Samsung Galaxy S6, I constantly kept reaching in the back to find those buttons. So it definitely takes a little bit of getting used to, but I think after you're used to it, it's an amazing function and feel of those buttons back there. It's just fantastic. I also love that you don't have any buttons at all along the sides. It just makes the phone feel a lot better. It has a curvature around the back that makes it feel good when you're holding it, and then it actually has a slight curve from top to bottom to actually make it feel better when it's up against your face. So, and then of course the screen. The screen is just amazing. Again, I'll leave a link down below for all the specs, the pixel density, it's a Quad HD screen. It's amazing. Just the look of it and the feel of it is just fantastic. The color representation is great. But for all the spec heads out there, I'll leave a link down below for the specs. So okay, the screen's great. The actual form of the phone is great. You have an IR blaster along the top as an added bonus. I never really use that, but it is nice that they include it. So you can put up to a 2 terabyte micro SD card into this phone, which they don't even have yet, so I'm calling BS. But I have a 128 in there, and it's way more than you would ever need. You also have a 3000 milliamp battery in the back, but the great thing about it is it's removable. So yes, this phone has a Quad HD display, much like the S6, but the thing that you get with this is if you start running out of juice, you don't have to plug it into a wall or wirelessly charge it. You can actually just swap the batteries. So that being said, this actually has the Qualcomm quick charge built into it, the feature, but it doesn't come with a quick charge wall wart, which I think is really odd, but I have a couple from the S6, so I've used that, it does work, so that's fantastic. As far as wireless charging, it's not built in like the S6, but it is available with either third party or OEM different backs for the phone. And speaking of different backs, the one that I have here is the plasticky diamond pattern one. But as you can see, I actually put on one of my favorite company's skins, a D-brand skin, and then the little logo is from my wife, made that up on one of her little vinyl machine. But aside from this, you actually have the option to get leather. Yes, leather. There's a bunch of different colors for different companies. T-Mobile has a certain one, Verizon has a certain one, AT&T, blah, blah, blah. But you can buy them directly from LG and they feel fantastic. Keep in mind though, it does add some thickness to the phone, which will impede some of the cases on the market actually fitting. I've seen some case manufacturers say that some of their cases will fit with or without the leather back. Now, another piece of the hardware, which usually will go in its own category, but we're just gonna jump into it here, and that is the camera. This camera on this phone is fan-fricking-tastic. Fan-fricking-tastic. So we all know the top cameras with phones on them. iPhone is always up there. The iPhone 6 Plus has optical image stabilization, so it's even above the regular iPhone. So you have the iPhone 6 Plus, and you have the Galaxy S6, which has a fantastic camera. Probably the best camera on a smartphone to date until the G4. G4 gives it a run for its money. I'm not sure. It would take some really deep investigating to find out which one is actually the best. But that being said, you cannot go wrong actually with any one of those three, but the G4 is next level. You have manual controls, you can shoot RAW, which I really don't care about. To me, the auto mode just works fantastic. I don't need anything more than the auto mode. It has an f1.8 aperture, which for those who don't know, that means it lets more light into the sensor, so you get better low light performance, but also gives you that great depth of field, or that bokeh, which bokeh gives you that blurry background and the foreground nice and crisp, or sort of crisp. It does have optical image stabilization when you shoot video, but it is super aggressive. And you can see it if you're just simply walking, taking a video, the whole sides of the video shake and move, and it's unusable. You actually have the option to shoot in 4K. That's something that I never really do. Any videos that I take are quick snippets to share on social media if I'm using a phone anyways, so I don't usually shoot in 4K, but it does offer that. So the last thing we're gonna talk about is user experience. And me being the user, I will let you know, this is on my daily driver is a Verizon, and that's what my S6 and my iPhone 6 Plus are. I bought a AT&T SIM card, Go SIM card, and put it in this. This is the Korean variant of the G4, and it worked perfectly well. I got LTE everywhere, pretty much everywhere I went. Signal's not too great in my house, but that's AT&T overall, nothing to do with the phone. And I can say I've made a few phone calls on here. I usually don't make too many phone calls, so I'm not gonna pretend like, oh yeah, call quality is great on this. Call quality is good. As for the actual software and everything, it's actually pretty good. No, it's really good. I believe it's about 2 or 3 hairs above stock Android, but again, as if you guys know me, I don't like vanilla Android. I don't like stock. I like a few bells and whistles in there, and LG does that. I think there's a few updates they could do, probably for the camera, like with the OIS like I was talking about. They could clean that up. But overall, the experience has been fantastic. I'm not gonna get too deep into battery life because battery life has been okay with this, but like I said, it has a removable battery, so to me, that's not even as big of an issue as I made it for the S6, because the S6 does not have a removable battery. So to me, battery life on something like that or the iPhone is a huge concern compared to one that you can actually swap a battery out with. So that's gonna be about it, guys. I just wanted to give you guys my impressions of the LG G4 after a month. If you guys have any other comments or questions of things that I didn't go over in the video, please leave them down in the comment section below and I'll be glad to hit you up with that. If I get enough comments over certain things, I'll gladly do a follow-up video to this. Just let me know what you guys are looking for. If you enjoyed this video, give me the thumbs up down below. If you've yet to subscribe, smack the subscribe button down below. I'll talk to you guys in the next video. Peace. And going along with the hardware, you have this, oh, I didn't put it in airplane mode to begin with. Of course, not every phone's gonna go off.